Have you ever spent months, maybe even a year, building an AI chatbot only to watch it just fall flat? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea that completely changes how we build AI assistants that actually work. It's called the skills framework.
It's the big question, right? It's what keeps so many of us in the industry up at night. You pour all this time, money, and talent into building what you think is a revolutionary assistant, and what do you get? A chatbot that's clumsy, gets confused easily, and ends up frustrating the very users it was supposed to help.
And this really gets to the heart of it. On the left, you've got the dream, the promise we're all sold, this brilliant, super helpful AI assistant. But on the right, well, that's the reality for so many projects. A tangled, brittle, totally unpredictable mess. It just creates more problems than it solves. And that gap between the promise and the reality is exactly what we're here to fix.
So this leads us right to the core issue. Let's call it the monolithic chatbot problem. You know the one. It's that classic trap where the bot that's designed to do everything ends up doing nothing particularly well. Okay, so what's going on under the hood here? Well, you've got this single giant chatbot brain that's supposed to handle every single thing a user could ask for. But the problem is, when you try to update just one little piece of it, like, say, your refund process, you risk accidentally breaking something totally unrelated, like how it books appointments. It becomes this fragile house of cards. It's a total nightmare to maintain, and for your risk and compliance teams, it's just a black box they can't possibly govern. So how do we fix this? The solution requires a pretty fundamental shift in how we think. We have to stop trying to build one giant, all-knowing brain. Instead, we need to start thinking like we're building a team of specialists. We need to build lots of small, focused mini-tools. Let's just put a label on the old way, shall we? A monolithic bot is that single entity designed to do it all. And the result is always the same. It's incredibly complex, every little change is super high risk, and nobody really has clear ownership over any specific part of it. And this is the answer, an AI skill. It's the total opposite. Think of it as a self-contained, reusable mini-tool. Its job is to have a single responsibility. It knows exactly what information it needs, what its output should be, who owns it, and it just does its one job perfectly. I love this visual because it just nails the difference, doesn't it? The monolithic bot is that tangled ball of yarn. You pull on one thread, and the whole thing just gets tighter and more knotted. But the AI spills approach? That's your well-organized toolbox. You need to check an order status? You just grab the order status tool. It's reliable, it's predictable, and it doesn't mess with the refund tool sitting right next to it. Now, this idea of a toolbox, it's not just a nice analogy. It's a real, structured system. This is the skills framework. It's a formal way to design, organize, govern, and importantly, scale your whole library of these mini tools. So what does this framework actually do? Well, it boils down to three core jobs. First, it gives you a consistent design pattern, a blueprint for packaging your logic into a reusable skill. Second, it provides a governance layer, and this is absolutely critical to manage versions, control who can use what, and monitor performance. And third, it gives you a way to map your high-level business goals directly to a portfolio of specific, measurable skills.
This quote just grounds the whole concept perfectly. Think of it this way. A central skills registry is basically an API catalog for your AI. If you're not a developer, APIs are just the standardized ways different pieces of software talk to each other. By creating a catalog of skills, everyone in the company, from developers to business leaders, gets a single, searchable list of what your company's AI can actually do. No more guesswork.
And you know, this approach didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's been building for years. Way back in 2020, Microsoft was already floating this idea of one bot using another as a skill. Then, the real game changer was in 2023, when OpenAI's Assistance API made tool use a mainstream thing for large language models. You know, the engines behind tools like ChatGPT. All of that has paved the way for these more formal AI skills frameworks to emerge as a really key design pattern today.
Okay, so the theory is solid. But let's get into the real world, because that's what really matters. What happens when businesses actually put this into practice? What kind of impact does it have? Let's start with a classic example, a support bot for an online store. I mean, this is a space where a skills framework can have a massive, almost immediate impact.
So, get this. By creating separate, clean skills for tasks like check order status and process refund, one company saw a 40% reduction in customer handle time. That's huge. The bot wasn't guessing anymore. It was just executing a precise, reliable, and super fast mini tool.
And hey, it's not just for retail. The benefits are maybe even clearer in really high-stakes environments, like a financial technology company or fintech.
Right, so in this case, by building out modular skills for things like a KYC check, that's Know Your Customer, and fraud scoring, one team saw a 25% increase in successful user conversions. The whole onboarding process just got faster and way more accurate, which directly hits the bottom line.
So what could these high-value skills look like in your business? I mean, the possibilities are endless. In e-commerce, it's those core flows: checking an order, processing a refund, suggesting a product. In fintech, you're looking at critical compliance and risk tools. For a SaaS business, it's all about the user lifecycle: account setup, feature onboarding, usage reporting. Each one of these is like a small, powerful product in its own right.
And this brings us to maybe the most important takeaway of all. Adopting a skills framework, it's not just a better way to code. It's a strategic shift in how you even think about AI. You're moving from just writing prompts to building an actual portfolio of AI products.
This quote just captures that new mindset perfectly. The goal has to be to stop the reactive one-off prompt hacking. Instead, you start proactively building a library of assets, reusable, scalable AI products that can serve the entire business.
This table just lays it all out. The shift is huge. Your basic unit of work is no longer the bot, it's a catalog of tools. Maintenance goes from being high risk and complex to just isolating and updating a single skill. Reuse goes from nearly impossible to being the default. And maybe most importantly, value is no longer some vague, hard-to-measure concept. It's tied directly to specific business goals. This is the difference between an AI project and a true strategic AI capability. So here's the bottom line. Your chatbot, at the end of the day, is just a collection of promises you're making to your users. A promise to find their order, a promise to answer their question, a promise to solve their problem. A skills framework is the system that makes sure you can actually keep those promises, reliably and at scale. So the only question left is, how are you going to organize yours?